Hey, welcome back to A Faster Me. This is going to be the Taylor Elizabeth Clifford Memorial Grand Prix, and this is the women's P123. Well, I tell you, they're making me work this year. I think I've been having a minimum of 3 videos per week. So obviously it takes me a little time to get some of these out. I don't know, I'll probably start putting some out raw, even though that doesn't take any less time really. Takes me like 1 hour less. So it doesn't really matter. It still takes a lot of time to put the stats together, put the videos together, make sure they're appropriate, stuff like that, and not catching anybody out. So anyway, yeah, it's a good race, pretty stacked field. Got a few teams in there, and obviously all the local individuals that typically do the races. So the 2 largest teams, we got the Incycle Mamis, very strong team. We have A Faster Me, that's us. We're doing well this year as well. And we got Legion of Los Angeles in here. Only 2 riders, but anytime you have riders from Legion, it's a very, they're going to be very competitive. All their riders are strong. Obviously, they race on a national level and sometimes a world level. So weather held up. This is a little bit later in the day, so it's kind of a give and take. Earlier in the day, it was a little cooler, very heavy cloud cover, but no rain. But the wind was down a little bit early in the day. So this is later in the day, and there's a very heavy, right now it's a headwind. Once they make the right turn here in turn 2, it kind of goes into a slight tailwind, like a cross tailwind. So it's not too bad on this side. You can see there's a lot of building protection also that's pretty close to the road there. So this side's pretty good. But once you hit the front straight, it's a crosswind coming off the right, a cross headwind. And then once you turn on turn 1, it's directly into a pretty stiff headwind, and on top of the road having really poor surface on that side. So that's Morgan James in front right there on the camera. This is Elisa passing on the left. The camera view is Marlena Bemis. We also have Felicia in this race, Anastasia, and Naomi. So like always, it's going to be competitive. You're going to have a lot of people trying to get off the front. Breakaways are always an option in these races. Like anytime you don't want the field to really split unless you're in that break. If you're in the break, then obviously that's great because you reduce the competition a little bit. But other than that, definitely going to have to cover a lot of moves. You want to get in the break if possible, and if not, keep it all together and come down to a sprint. So here you can see on the right side, all the banners have been taken off because that's how windy it is. You see the American flag on the left up there. But they had to take all the banners off the gate there because the wind just kept blowing the banners down. That's Shawnee right there in front of the camera. And I think Evelyn over to the right in the Endure kit. Also have Colleen Gullick in this race. I think we got Holly Breck and Kendall Ryan from Legion. Like I said, it's a pretty, every week in Southern California, it's a pretty competitive field, Some days we get it, really kind of star-studded and, the stars kind of come out. But every weekend in Southern California, we have some fast crits, and they're very competitive. So here, the speed is down a little bit. As you can see, it's only 19 miles per hour. But like I said, it is a very stiff headwind. If you saw that flag was pretty much straight out. It wasn't, the camera never does it justice, but there was wasn't an easy task here, coming down this straight between turns 1 and 2. And I'm not sure if that's Fabiola right there from Go Fast. I think Fabiola and, I can't even think of her name, Samantha Bosco. Sorry. But yeah, I haven't seen her in a while, so I don't really know those 2 riders as much. And I haven't seen Samantha in a while, so I don't know if I'd recognize her in kit or not. But it's definitely good to see her out here, and I can see Go Fast is bringing on some extra riders. There's Kendall Ryan with the attack up the left side there. Obviously, you're going to have people try to chase that. Very dangerous if Kendall gets off the front. She won earlier this year at the Major Motion Crit in a solo break. Well, kind of a solo break. She had a wingman on her, a wing woman, wing rider. But, yeah, it was pretty much solo at about the halfway point. After a bunch of failed attempts by others on the attack, she kind of counterattacked and just soloed the rest of the race. Probably a good 20, 30-minute solo effort. With one rider just riding her wheel the entire way. So Kendall's definitely well known, well established, and everybody knows she's a threat anytime she's in the race. Yeah, so this is pretty tough here. Protects you a little bit to the left here if you can get some. But yeah, you can see the flags there, and like I said, you'll see the American flag up there. It's kind of swirling now, but a minute ago it was directly left, so the wind's coming off the right there pretty stiff. It's a pretty good effort here with everyone. They had a lot of preems in this race. We sponsored the women's purse, for this race. And, we definitely had a good turnout. I was hoping that my girls can win some of my money back. But, yeah, they had a lot of preems in this race as well, a couple $100 preems. I know 2 preems alone were $500, one for $200 and one for $300. So yeah, it'd been a perfect time for someone to launch a counterattack here. You can see there's 3 girls up the road a little bit. Marlena's trying to put in an effort to bring it back, it looks like. Not too big of an effort. I can't tell if we're representing it. It looks like that might be Elisa up there on the left. So I know we're not going to put too hard of an effort if our team's in it. Yeah, again, doesn't do it justice, but this part of the road is really beat up. A lot of potholes and cracks and things like that. I think that's Charity right there, trying to run it down. So, yeah, we don't want too many people getting in the break if it's our team in there or not. So if there's too many riders up there, we're just going to have to close it and kind of bring it back. Yeah, so as you see, as Feline comes by, Marlena just jumps on her wheel. I think that's Feline. So, yeah, all back together again now. And then if Feline launches a counterattack, so Marlena just kind of covers it here. Yeah, by now everyone should know Feline's really strong, and anytime there's an attack, she always launches a counter for the most part. Not every single time, but she's pretty active on the counterattacks, and which is a great strategy. And Feline has also been in many breakaways over the last few years. You can see she has the speed up pretty high. And there you can see the banners to the left, like the wind's back up again. See that flag, how stiff it is. Definitely, kudos to all the, the women out here. These are some pretty hard efforts. Even if it doesn't show watts-wise, like it was some tough conditions. But overall, it was a beautiful day and beautiful event. So that corner there, I talked about it in I think in my video, but that first corner is the only corner that's fairly tight, and it's really nothing special. It's just a 90-degree turn, but the cones there kind of narrow it a little bit, kind of make it act as if it's a decreasing radius turn, just because they have to keep that lane open, the 2 lanes to the left there. So those cones can come at you pretty quickly, and every so often people get caught out and kind of run wide. So yeah, Marlena's on the front. I'm sure she doesn't want to be here exactly. And like I said, this is a very stiff headwind. So when you see the speed down, that's pretty much the reason why. You got to put so much effort in here to just get the speed up. Yeah, so I finally got to race this circuit also. Last year I was caught up in a crash before the race, I mean, before the first one, so I was in a sling, nothing broken, but couldn't really use my arm yet, so I missed the first weekend. The second time we raced here, I have a heart issue and ended up having AFib and had to pull out of the race. So finally got one race under my belt here at the Taylor Elizabeth Clifford Memorial. There's Anastasia just setting some tempo. Nothing special, just kind of cruising off the front, keep it a little bit fast. And Naomi comes up to join her. I think that's Roz from Altavelo there. Naomi goes on a small attack. It's not a big attack. She just increases the speed a little bit. You got the Mamis. I think that's Feline and maybe Heather following her with Holly Breck on her wheel. And then Elisa joins the party as well. So there's Camilla. I forgot Camilla's in the race as well. Colleen pulls up. That's the first time we see them. And then that's Felicia in front of us there. We've been putting out some good numbers. That's one of the benefits of having like a dedicated race team and not just a cycling club. If you race for me, you have to race. It's not. I don't want any dead weight on the team where people are just kind of sitting around and not racing. Obviously, if you got family or business stuff going on, that's a different issue since no one's getting paid. But if you're on the team, you need to race. And, we've had some good numbers every race out here, 4, 5, 6 riders every single race. So if you look at, that was Kendall to my left, and then Colleen right there to the left. I said my left. I'm not actually in the race. But, honestly, I think there's some very subtle things you can learn from people like Kendall, Colleen, Holly. And it's really not what they do. It's a lot of what they do not do. So sitting in the pack, they're very calm. A lot of people are kind of nervous, anxious. They're kind of fidgety, stuff like that, and that burns energy, even mental energy, and it all plays in the last few laps of a race. So you can see the young lady from Butcher Box there, also very good sprinter. But yeah, like just sitting in things like this, like being calm. A lot of kind of newer or less experienced riders, they burn a lot of energy even when they're sitting in, and that. It factors in. It's a small thing. It's like those marginal gains, but yeah, it's a big deal. Like I think people should model themselves after some of those riders a little bit, not on all the dynamic stuff. The dynamic stuff is what it is. Everybody gets excited about people producing power or how fast they are, but you really need to pay attention to just where they position themselves and kind of how they save energy. Even when they accelerate, it's like it's not always I have to go 100%. Sometimes it's a gradual or just a lot smoother. The smoother you can use your power, the more energy you have at the end of a race. There's Maria right there to the left. I think Maria's a Cat 3. Not really sure if she's 3 or 2, but anyway, she raced the earlier race also with the Masters. And she did great, won the bunch sprint there, kind of helped Courtney get off the front and win in a solo break. I think the Mamis do a really good job of teamwork. Obviously, they've been doing it for a little while now, the last few years, and they're all experienced, been riding for a long time. But I think it's also just something people can learn from. Yeah, and shout out to Kat right there to the left in the white long sleeve, kind of like the Aero kit. I think this is her first P123 race. She just moved up to Cat 3. She had a pretty good finish also, very strong. I think she may be able to improve like the bike handling a little bit. Not a knock on her, she's new and coming up. She's only 19, I believe it is. But she had a really strong finish. And she's really competitive, has a lot of talent. I think she's going to do well in these next couple years. So there's Naomi off the front again. I think just setting a little pace, keeping people on their toes. I'm not sure who that is chasing. One of the mommies for sure, with Anastasia on her wheel. You know, and I talked about this before, but I think people don't understand, like, there's a lot of managing going on, like, at the early parts of the race. And especially because we have numbers, we like to kind of control the race early, kind of monitor it and make sure things aren't getting away. Obviously, the mommies kind of do the same thing. They have numbers. Anytime you have a few people, you have that luxury of being able to control or dictate the pace a little bit. As you can see here, Marlena launches a counterattack once Naomi gets caught. And again, that's like some of the luxuries that you have just to be able to do some of these things. And we're not trying to burn energy just to burn it. Obviously, we have some goals in mind and some strategies that I will not disclose here. But yeah, it's a beautiful thing to be able to have a team and race as a team. And I hope a lot more of the ladies can get some of their other riders to come out. It's been a good year. We've been having decent numbers, but I really like to see this field grow to about 50 riders instead of 25 or so. And I know it's possible. There's enough girls in Southern California that are fast, that are been racing for years. We just need them all to show up on the same days. Kind of a short-lived attack. It was covered pretty well. Can't see who this is right here for the mommies. Maybe it's Melissa. Not really certain. I need to figure out what kind of bike everybody has. Maybe I'd be able to recognize everyone a little easier. So yeah, we're just approaching basically the halfway point here, and these are some pretty big laps. I think it's a 1.1 mile circuit. That's one of the larger circuits like in our area here. A lot of our crits are about 0.8 of a mile. They're usually under 2 minutes or right at the 2 minute mark per lap. And this one's a pretty big lap, and depending on what type of speed is being carried, you can easily get over, into like 2 minutes and 20 seconds. And that's a pretty big lap. There's Roz again, too. Altavello's been in a lot of our local races lately. I think, pretty much at least one rider's been in every race, I think, this at the beginning of the season. So it's good to see, like I said, some other teams kind of from Northern California coming down. And it's good to see Butcher Box represented, too. I don't think Butcher Box has been in our local races the last few years. All right, I think that might be Heather this time going off. Marlena's trying to cover it. Heather's very strong as well. She's been kind of quiet, this year, but definitely a capable rider, really strong breakaway type rider. Yeah, she's gapping Marlena pretty good here. So obviously she's putting the hammer down because Marlena's obviously very strong, putting in some decent watts here. And then Holly decides to come around and close it. Or bridge to it, really. I think Marlena's a little gassed because she had just attacked, half a lap ago. Yeah, they got some pretty good separation. So this is definitely a pretty dangerous move here going off the front. And if Holly and Heather get together, they both are very strong and can definitely make make some noise up there. But I think maybe it was just for the Prix because they kind of shut it down right now, or maybe Heather shut it down once she saw Holly caught her. But I think if they would have kept the hammer down, that would have been pretty dangerous. There goes Elisa on the counterattack again. Yeah, Elisa's been pretty marked. You know, she's one of our strongest riders, and you know, she won the first race and had some good finishes in the first 3 races of her season. You know, 1 at CBR and then 2 up north with Santa Barbara Road Race and the I want to say it was a Cal Poly San Luis Obispo crit. So yeah, so she came out with the splash this year, and you know, there's no surprises there. So yeah, everybody's aware of her ability, and it's going to be tough for her for a little while. She's going to be marked for a little while in our local races. So just is what it is. That's just cycling. I mean, you look at Kendall and Holly and all the rest of them, they're marked every race as well. So it's just, you know, we got to find a way to get it done and kind of free her up a little bit. The level of racing has definitely, I think, been ramped up a little bit, though, this year. Really the last couple years, but I think people are just smarter. It's good to see a lot of the women that were like Cat 4 and stuff maybe 2-3 years ago are up and being consistent. They're consistently near the front now. And it just raises the entire level of like the Southern California race scene. So it'd be great. I think we probably need to put together a SoCal team and go hit some of these big events across the country. Just put together a SoCal composite team. Might be fun to see at one of these events. All right, so we're strung out a little bit. Got a single file. It's pretty fast. See a couple of the lap riders there going back. Got Elisa still on the front there. Can't remember if this was a Prix or not. Looks like it was. Everybody sprinting for the Prix there.
That was close. I'll let the chief ref call that one.
That's a pretty dangerous group up there as well now. I can't remember everybody that was in it. As you can see, Holly recognizes it's dangerous and goes after it. Colleen as well. Yeah, because those are some pretty strong girls up there that went for the premium. You see they had a little gap. But again, I think nothing was coordinated. No one really wanted to be in a breakaway, it didn't seem like, other than individuals. Because it's very simple. There's enough strong girls in here that, you know, once you get off the front like that, if you simply work, it's pretty tough to bring back, especially with the crosswind, unless it's a coordinated effort. With the headwind and crosswind, unless it's a coordinated effort, it's hard for an individual to just run that down. You can see now it's only 22 miles per hour, but such a headwind, you can see people's body language. They're actually putting down a little bit of power up there. Yeah, so I think that was Sam earlier up there on the S-Works bike, and that's Fabiola right here on the track. Yeah, I remember just seeing her out on Montrose. I love that bike. You know, her and Pat were riding together, and that I just like the color scheme of that bike. It's a little bit unique, but also it's a really nice color scheme there with the purple and blues and stuff kind of blended together. See, Charity over there has been a little quiet this race so far. Definitely got a little different body language everybody has right now. It's kind of like people are waiting for the next move to go off. Because the speed's not that high, really, but you can tell everybody's just a little bit on edge, it looks like. See Naomi working her way up the right side here. Yeah, this is as slow as it's been. We're down to group ride pace at 16 miles per hour. You know, just moved back up to 18, but definitely this is as slow as it's been through this section here. I think that's why everybody's so antsy. They know when it's slow like this, someone's going to attack. And I want to say I think Naomi went to the front up there. I saw her work her way up the right side, so she probably put in a little dig to get the speed back up. Yeah, it looks like she's on the front now. Might be another preem here. Got the speed going a little bit. You see Camilla moves to the front there, and Morgan kind of rolls around and covers it. Felicia's up there as well. I don't know, Camilla's looking back, waiting for somebody to launch, so maybe it's a preem lap. And there goes, I don't know who that is. I don't know if it's one of the mommies. I can't see who it is, but there was my big head yelling something. I don't know what at the moment, of course. Got Holly flying around the outside there. I don't know if she just maybe thought something was a little dangerous at the front, thought she needed to cover it. But as you can see here, there's where those cones come in right there. It can easily catch somebody out when there's riders in front of you. So we got Marlena moves back up to the front here. We're definitely coming down to about the last 4 laps or so now. I think I'm a little lost here. I'm not sure exactly what's going on, but definitely just setting a little tempo here. Got the speed decent. It's not anything special, but it's definitely not too slow either. Yeah, and unfortunately, Kendall had crashed on that previous lap. So if you saw right there was a motorcycle to the right, and Kendall and her bike was over on the left side there. Not sure exactly what happened. I just remember on the day I heard that there was a contact with another rider, but no clue what happened. Or good thing is she was okay. I just remember I was by the tent over there giving instructions, and I think the announcer had said she had a mechanical, but I saw there was like some blood on her knee, so knew there was an incident. Yeah, so the speed's up. Everybody's body language is definitely a little different. We're getting down to crunch time now, the last so many laps. I think we're probably 4 laps out. Maybe 3 or 4 laps out. See, we got all the mommies starting to kind of not really line up, but they're all at the front here. It's always dangerous when you see a team lined up. That's one of the things too, like I said, there's a lot of comments from people that don't really have numbers, and they think it's easy because you have numbers. Like, just like the mommies, they have good numbers out here, but it's not easy. Everyone out here is talented. Everyone kind of knows what everyone's doing, or to a degree. And yeah, no matter if you have numbers or not, it's not easy to win bike races. It's not easy to control the peloton. It's a good thing about endurance sports is like fitness is a factor. You can only fake fitness for a little while, You can sit in on group rides and stuff like that, but sitting in does not mean winning, And when things get hard, it gets hard for everyone. So, yeah, so as great as it is to have numbers and to have tactics, I'd rather have them than not have them. But there's no guarantees either. Even if you do everything right, there's no guarantees. So, yeah, I think we're going into 3 laps to go here. You can definitely tell the last couple laps have been at a little bit higher pace. So 3 laps to go. There's a $200 premium here. It's good money. Some of the events you don't even get $200 if you win the race. So, there's $200 premium here with 3 laps to go. Not sure who got the premium either. Not for the $200. I wasn't sure who got that $200 premium. Yeah, we're pretty spread out through there. A lot of different lines being taken. I think that's Anastasia on the front there with Morgan on her wheel. A little too far up front, I think, at this point in the race. We don't really want to be exactly on the front. But we do need to kind of battle and keep positions up here. As you can see, all the hitters are up here. You see Colleen's now normally quiet in the back of the race or mid-pack or so, and you see she's kind of monitoring the front as well. No one wants to get caught out. And this next preem, with 2 to go, this next preem is a $300 preem. So again, $500 in the last 2 laps. That's going to get a lot of people excited. Marlena kind of comes up here to try to join the party. Right now, the girls just decided to kind of, set tempo a little bit at the front. Keep it a little bit safer. It's not real fast. We don't want to burn too much energy here, but we do want to keep it a little safer, not let it bunch up too much, and not let really any big attack go that might be able to stay away. A little easier to cover attacks from a higher speed than it is from letting it get too slow. You don't have to go as anaerobic. You can just maybe a high VO2 effort can get back to a wheel here. So there's Charity. She wants that $300. So she goes on a little attack. I shouldn't say a little attack. She kind of nukes it, honestly. $300, so she's going to go for it. You got Camilla kind of chasing her here. So, yeah, this is going into 1 to go now. And honestly, Charity got that 300. She's probably happy, but she probably should just keep going. Yeah, she probably wouldn't make it, one whole lap, especially with this headwind here. She knows nobody's with her right now, but yeah, she just probably should just keep going. Elisa goes here too, because not knowing if they're gonna, obviously run away with it. So Elisa tries to go and kind of get away here. But again, this is like I said, it's a big lap and a hard effort. There's a lot of headwind here. So you see the girls are on them pretty fast, because obviously the peloton's going to move a little faster, cutting a little more air in the wind than a solo rider or a couple riders. So Marlena comes up to the front now again, trying to keep the pace hot. Like I said, we got our girls on the front here. The mommies overtake us though from the outside. And this is what I'm saying, like, team or no team, it's not easy. The other girls are trying too. And even though the speed's not high right now, like I said, it's a headwind here. So they're doing 23. Without the headwind, they're probably doing 27 or so. So Marlena comes back underneath and takes over again. You can hear the mommies yelling, right side. Marlena does a pretty good effort here, really ramping it up. You can see she's in the high 300s, 400 watts. The speed's slowly ramping up, and this is a good lead out here. This is kind of what you're supposed to do. It's not like a full sprint, but you do want to keep the speed just ramping higher and higher. I always say like a mile per hour a second, basically, or a couple seconds. So unfortunately, I think a lot of energy was taken on those last couple, like half a lap from our sprint crew. So the mommies come back through with Holly just launches early. She has to. They know whoever gets out of that turn first pretty much wins the race. So Morgan gets caught just a little bit from behind. But it's still a good sprint for us. It's a good job. We've been really competitive in every race. Morgan ends up taking second in the P123 and third in the P123 and fourth overall. Holly holds off Colleen for the win, and she takes the $1,000 from courtesy of a Faster Me. So yeah, appreciate you guys coming out. We love sponsoring the event. We want to get more women out. So thanks for watching, and let's turn it into 50. Let's get 50 riders in every local race. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.